there was a lot of people in the comments going crazy. Gotta try Claude Code. Claude Code's so good. You're not using it right. So for all those people in the comments, I'm here now to try and actually use it as aggressively as possible. I met someone very cool a couple of weeks ago who is building a system for that. It's called Trinity, and basically it's an agent orchestration platform. You can see here how it works. It's very cool. I haven't set this up yet, but it has separate containers for each agent, like a front end and back end for itself, its own server, its own Redis database. And each agent has lots of different configurations, lots of different kinds of agents, and then different tools, a different context you can add, things like that. You can submit PRs, clean things up, and you can do lots of cool stuff. So on the right here, I kind of want to explain what I'm trying to do and what I'm trying to build. There is a few different pieces to this. It's actually a lot more complicated than I thought. Lots of pieces. I can just keep adding stuff here. I think it's called TMUX. So basically, the way this is going to work is that I want to use my phone to write code on a remote Mac Mini, and that remote Mac Mini will then push up a PR to GitHub and then close a linear ticket. And so from my phone, it's going to orchestrate Claude Code, and the Claude Code is actually on the Mac Mini, but with Tailscale, I can kind of this kind of makes sense. Can I do arrows easily? Let's see. Yeah, so from my phone, I go there. That's funny. I'm just going to make this there you go. Okay. So from my phone, I want to be able to SSH into my Mac Mini, so I'm using Tailscale and TMUX. So now I'm connected to my computer at home, which is just running at all times. I tried to do this at first in a Railway container, but those are ephemeral containers. They don't actually last, and you will have to reset each time. And then also, I do a lot of iOS stuff, so it just makes sense to use my MacBook that's sitting at home. So Tailscale TMUX is used to connect to the Mac Mini, and the Claude Code is basically what I'm connecting to. So I'm connecting to a terminal on the Mac, and the terminal, I immediately kind of launched Claude Code, and Claude Code has a whole bunch of, there's a whole section here we could write of things where it's got a Claude MD file, it's got, tool use, context files, hooks. So all of these things are Claude Code coded, and that's pretty cool. So from my phone, I can now access this Claude Code. It can remember what PRs I have or I guess what projects I have, what PRs to write, because it's also connected to Linear, and it can access Linear. So I can say to my phone with this setup, what are some tickets that we can write, that you can write today that are in the roadmap and the long-term plan. And then it can say, okay, well, you need to do these 3 things next. And then I say, okay, do them. So it says, okay. It writes the code, tests the code. I can produce screenshots of the working feature, and then submits a PR to GitHub. And then I can also just go from my phone, of course, straight to GitHub and say, okay, approve, ship it to production. Let's do it. And this is obviously a super messy, ridiculous little thing I just drew on the fly. But this is a really powerful system. And the cool thing about this system is that you can upgrade it. You can do something like what this guy did. Isolated agent containers, real-time monitoring, lots more MCPs. And the MCPs is something that I discounted at first big time, but now I see the light. They are APIs, but whatever. It's getting them to be consistent with Claude is the interesting part. Agent-to-agent communication is interesting. Scheduling is interesting. Credential management is super, super important. So I'm probably going to implement this whole thing, but I need to see it work like this first to kind of understand what it is I'm actually trying to do. And to get this MCP server up and running is the first step, because then you can sort of just build it piece by piece. But from what I've been testing, I'll give you a little sneak peek here. I have 2 of these agents running. Probably have 50 secrets exposed, but whatever. But yeah, and these agents are really good. I'm just okay, build this, build that, do this, do that. And my productivity has increased. It is increased, believe it or not. Look at that. This is 2 days of using Claude Code. And so, there's the first main day where I really went ham for it. So very interesting stuff. And I'm sharing the journey as I try and figure out building this. So if you're interested in that, follow along. Okay, thank you.